right, I'd like to welcome everyone out this evening to Real Women Revealed, our first segment with some real men. So ladies, give them a round of applause for having some courage to come out and hang with us this evening. What we're going to do is piggyback off of our previous segment where we had, do real women know what they want in their relationship with their man? So since I had so much flack or feedback from that segment, we decided to incorporate some gentlemen in there. So what we're going to do is just go around and kind of get a feel for our first question, which is going to be, name your 3 must-haves in a relationship. So we're just going to kind of go around with everybody and just name your 3 must-haves. We'll discuss a little bit about the must-haves, but just must-haves in your relationship. And we can start down here, right here to the right, yeah.
All right, my name is Stephen Eric Connor. I'm from Phoenix, and I think the first must-have is just authentic love, where it's unconditional and allows yourself to just show up the way you want to show up and be accepted with that. The second one is just to, wow, that's an interesting question. The must-haves in a relationship. I would say just the feeling of being accepted as you are, and also the willingness to step outside the box and be able to communicate on a deeper level without fear.
Okay. All right. What's your marital status, Stephen?
I am single.
Okay.
Is that a good thing?
Hey, yeah, it could be.
That's right.
I'm Barbara Euler, and I'm from Gilbert, Arizona, and I would say that my 3 must-haves are good communication, I would say God, and the ability to show up exactly who I am and be appreciated for that.
Awesome, awesome. What's your marital status?
I am single.
Okay, so maybe that's the inside. That's the inside. That's the inside. So we won't go there. That's the inside, Joe. That's the off-camera topic. Okay.
My name's Xavier Jenkins. I'm married. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. My 3 must-haves would start off with trust. Then there would be respect. And acceptance would be the third. And when acceptance means accepting me as what I am, and I'd be willing to accept my mate as who she is, and together we would be accepting of each other. And that to me would allow us to evolve and bond together and have a truly successful relationship.
Awesome, awesome. So do you get that from your mate already?
Yes, I do. Yes, one day at a time. Yes, I do. I get that one day at a time. Some days more than others.
Okay, all right. We're going to cut his mic a little. All right.
Currently married, forever, I should say. My 3 must-haves, I should say, God first. Also, I like a woman that respect themselves regardless of in a relationship or not in a relationship. Honesty and intimacy.
All right. Keep it moving.
Hi, my name's Katanya Bankston. I'm married to this fine man right here.
All right.
And my 3 must-haves are, in order to set that foundation for any relationship that you want to turn into a marriage, is to have God first and foremost in their life, because he's a solid foundation. And secondly would be to have an honorable person, somebody that you can believe in what they say. What do you brothers say? Word is bond. And third, a sense of humor. I like to laugh.
All right. That was good. That's good. Let's keep it moving.
Hi, I am Tamara. I live in Goodyear, Arizona, and I am currently single. I probably shouldn't say that because you're going to put this on Facebook, huh?
You're going wrong again.
But we are. You got to maybe take that out. My 3 must-haves is much love and more love and more love. Because if we love each other truly, you're gonna understand me. You're gonna be honest with me, and you're also gonna be faithful. So Those are my 3 must-haves. Must have much love.
Okay, okay.
I'm Rikia Ross from Phoenix, Arizona, and I am currently separated. And my 3 must-haves, number 1, I must have someone that is God-fearing, spiritual. That's number 1. A sense of humor, because I smile every day, and I would like that other person to have, a sense of humor where they're smiling every day also. My 3rd one would be trust. If we don't have trust in one another, it's going to be extremely hard to have a relationship because of our business. So, trust, God-fearing, and humor.
Okay, all right. That's good. I'll kind of comment on my must-haves, and then we're going to go around and talk about that. But my 3 must-haves in a relationship would be someone that is God-fearing, someone that truly loves their family, their community, and just has a good overall spiritual self, and trust. And trust would be my top must-haves. So, so what we're going to do is, I want to find out, since we all know everybody's must-haves, when do you feel it's important to share those must-haves? Would you say, if you just went out on a first date with someone, would you just normally say, okay, these are my must-haves, and start rattling them off? Or would you say, wait till after the first date or 30 days? So I'm going to ask Michael, what would you feel would be the time frame in which you would share your must-haves with someone?
Definitely not right in the beginning, but shortly thereafter, because I think nowadays when older you get, you have some understanding, been through relationships, been through situations, circumstances, and I think it's time out for a lot of the games, a lot of playing games. You got to be honest in the beginning, so you know what you're dealing with, and they know what they're dealing with. So I would do it not too soon afterwards. If you have a feeling or a vibe with that significant other, that it will be more than just dating, it can enter into a courtship and potential marriage, I think you should share those things very soon and give them the opportunity to see what's before them and not be that wolf in sheep clothing.
Okay, all right, okay. We're going to move on over to this side to Miss Barbara. So when do you feel that it would be important for you to share your must-haves?
I think that you develop a friendship, and I think that you develop that friendship through good communication. And I think that those kinds of things, like Michael said, as you extend your friendship,
Right.
And you get the feeling that this is something deeper or potentially going to have a deeper meaning to both of you, it's time to be sharing those things. Because you've developed your friendship, you've built a sense of trust that open communication is acceptable, and it just flows.
Okay.
I don't think when you have an agenda and you've attached to that agenda, I think you're kind of sort of trying to make things happen.
Okay.
And instead, I think it's better is that when it's real, it flows. It doesn't have to be made to happen.
Okay. Xavier, you want to go ahead and tell us when you would display that?
Well, for me, I take a little bit of both of the prior individuals' approaches, but I don't necessarily agree that I need to actually sit down and talk with that person and explain to them those things. My vision or view of it is more to get to know that person and experience life with them. And I believe that those qualities or traits will, at some time during that period, will display themselves, and we'll get to know each other, and it will be revealed through my actions as well as her actions, or whether or not I feel that I can trust her, whether she can trust me, whether she respects me and I respect her. Those things will be revealed to each of us And I think sitting down and talking about it, this is what I expect. I think that I don't think that that's the way that I would like to do that. And I'll go further to say, I don't know if that's the way that I would want someone to present it to me. I would rather let my actions speak versus, my words. So that's how I look at it.
So, sort of saying that you're almost filling the person out. Is it even worth sharing my must-haves with you? Is it worth sharing your must-haves with someone if you feel that maybe you went out on a couple dates and, as you were saying, as you're getting to know each other, then I guess maybe some of those things that you want will probably just display themselves naturally.
Well, I'll say this, add on to, let's say if we are having maybe a date and we're having a conversation and the conversation turns to, the question is posed to me, well, what is it that you want out of a relationship?
Okay.
Or what do you expect? Then I can present those things in that type of setting.
Okay.
But just to, at a certain point in time in a relationship, say, let's sit down. These are the things I wanted to let you know that what I expect out of a relationship. For me, I don't know if I would feel comfortable with doing it that way. So that's just me.
Okay. Let's go to Rakia. What about you?
I'm with Xavier. I think that your must-haves would happen naturally. I don't want to reveal this is what I'm looking for and then you pretend that that's who you are. I want it to happen naturally, and those things that come through communication. Before we talked about going old school, talking on the telephone, actually talking and not texting and emailing, but having conversations. Actually talking to adults. Because like we said before, I'm that other 40.
Right.
I'm on that other end. So I believe that if you have open communication, the things that you that are attractive to you, they'll be revealed.
Okay.
If I, sit across the table from you and tell you exactly what I want, well, that's what you're going to be to get what you want. And I don't think that will last.
Okay.
Because if that's not the type of person you are, eventually it'll be revealed.
Okay. Awesome. So let me ask this, kind of break this up so we can get loosened up. Everybody, let's loosen it up a little bit. So since we got some men here, we're going to dig into the men a little bit. So men, we all talked about, we all know our must-haves and what they are. You guys explained them. We can show of hands or just yes. Do you feel that men really are visual creatures? They're just, visual.
Oh, yes.
Everybody in agreement with me? I'm talking to everybody. Just, do you feel that men are just visual?
I hear the women answering.
Oh, men, the ladies, the men are...
Right. Putting us on blast, right? Mike, go ahead and take that.
You feel... We just go around real quick. You feel men are just more of a visual creature or a person than a woman would be?
Yes, I do feel that way. I mean, we do visualize things. I mean, we hunters by nature.
Okay.
But I think we all have that aspect. I mean, everything is from the perception in the beginning, and then you get to know someone. So I think we all, but we really hound dogs would, I guess you can say, and on the prowl, as my wife indicating, when it comes to the visual aspect, yes, we are more visual.
Hold on to the mic. So, since men are, you kind of stepped it up for the men, you was holding it down for the men, we're going to come back around. And you said hound dogs and on the prowl. Now, what if you saw, and like your wife, you just like, whoa, this woman is just beautiful. Wow. Body, whoa. Career, just smart. Would you compromise your must-haves? As visual. Now, you being visual first. Would you then compromise your must-haves, as you said, the hound dog and the chasing coming out? So.
I mean, at one point in my life, yeah, you just compromise everything and do whatever because that's the flesh controlling you. But at this point in life, you look and you just keep it moving, and you let that stay on the menu. and you don't you don't order it. You know, you don't order. You everybody has to look. Everybody has eyes. God
Right.
blessed us with that. So we're going to see that object or that person or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't mean you have to sit there and gloat and do the triple take. You have to learn to have some self-control, some self-discipline.
Okay.
And, you know, because if you look too long, you know, then that's when things happen.
You, is he on the timer? Do you let me just ask Katanya that real quick. Is it since he brought that up, is there he said triple take, but what's your take like? Is it like over 60 seconds, over 10 seconds is too long, or
You know,
what?
I'm a people person, and if I see somebody pretty, he knows I always say, "Oh my gosh, isn't she a beautiful person?" Or, "Ooh, you know, we're human.
Right.
You know, we're not objects. You know, we're not
Exactly.
pieces of art." So I love looking at people. You know, I'm in the fashion industry. I love looking. We love people watching together. So there's a different way to approach it. If he's looking with lust, I have an issue. But if he's just looking at, dang, she's a pretty woman.
Okay.
You know, that's acceptable. I'm not the only pretty woman in his eyes. I know that. Again, there's always somebody better than the next. However, again, if that look is with lust, then we have an issue. Then we have an issue.
All right. Okay. So we're going to move it on down here to Mr. Steven. Would you, I guess the same question basically that I asked Michael, beautiful woman, just wow, you know, you're just overwhelmed. Beautiful woman, body, career, you know, everything going. After you got to know that person, because you're in wow mode, right? Would you compromise those must-haves?
No, I wouldn't, because I think and I want to compliment what Michael mentioned about being a hunter. I read a quote recently that said, men are all hunters. You know, women are hunters too, they just don't want you to know it. But I think when it comes to, you know, again, must-haves, I think it's more important to establish the foundation and the connection. And I think we need to be really present wherever we are, be there. And when you have a connection with someone else, I look at people's eyes. So if I feel your energy in your eyes, you know, that tells me a whole lot more about who you are on the inside as opposed to who you show up on the physical self. And then really people's kindness in their heart. Are they really being revealed and sharing who they are, or are they just giving you a presentation?
Okay.
And that's easy to pick up if you're paying attention.
Okay. Look in his eyes and see if he knows. That's off the camera again. I forgot that.
Are you saying edit that out?
So what we're going to talk about, because we're talking about relationships and must-haves, and you know, the reason that I kind of went to this subject from the beginning is because I heard, like on the blog sites and famous TV personality say that women didn't know what they want, that women wouldn't know if a good man fell in their lap, they wouldn't know what to do. So that's kind of how I decided to talk about this subject. What I want to talk about now is, do you feel that women, we're going to do women and men because we're asking the same thing, but I'm going to ask the women right now. Are there mixed signals that you feel most women, we can't say all, but most women will give a man in a relationship to make that statement, to say women don't know what they want? Especially if you've already shared your must-haves and you're not compromising. Are we sending mixed signals? Do you think we send mixed signals, Tamara?
I don't know.
Is that a mixed signal?
It could be. It could be. I don't know. I guess
Well, let me ask you
if
this.
you
I'm sorry.
shared your must-haves and then they know it, and then they see you compromising that, that's a mixed signal. Because now they're like, it's not the same. Maybe I can do something different than what she's expecting and still be okay.
Okay.
So that could be a mixed signal.
Do you think that maybe the problem is with some women or men, but we're talking about women now, may not necessarily know how to communicate those must-haves effectively, and then that's where the confusion comes in and say, well, women, you know, don't know what they want. Maybe they don't know how to communicate that. Do you think maybe communication has something to do with it, or?
It could be, but I remember this question before, and sometimes it's just maybe all about what it is you want at that time. You could have shared your must-haves, but that might not be the person that you're really looking for. So that's where the communication comes in, because you're talking to them, you're telling them they could be just a friend that you want to have. And they may be thinking something
Friends with
totally
benefits
different.
or,
Something totally different. Or just a friend, just that you can communicate with. Or friends with benefits, depending on this, if it's what you want. Because it's a difference. There is. There's a big difference. So communication is the key. But then again, you have to figure out if this is somebody that you really want to be with, that you're sharing that with. Because if it's not, they need to know that too.
So, do men send mixed signals?
All the time.
What give me one mixed signal that you believe men give. And we're gonna take this around. So.
Oh my, just one.
Oh, it's more. You
Don't
got
put
like.
me on blast.
She's moving the bike. We'll come back. Give me one. Give me one. Or do you think? Give me one mixed signal.
I think humans, period, give mixed signals.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
the time and
But we
place.
want to cater it to the relationship and that.
Well, it depends on where you are. If this is during a relationship, once you've gotten to know each other and you feel that you want to take this to a next level kind of it just depends on where you are. It may be that you're just dating. Right now, you're just dating. You're looking. So you're not necessarily committed to one person. So if you're looking, you're going from person to person, to see what those qualities are, because you're getting to know someone. Do I believe that men give mixed signals? I believe everyone gives mixed signals. As far as one particular mixed signal that we give, I wouldn't just say the men, because I think all of
it's
these
on
will go
both. I'm just
ways.
I'm getting your opinion as a woman for men, then I'll get the men's opinion as a woman. But if you can give a woman, you can share, you can reveal that with
what
as a woman. You do the secrets up.
She know what she doing. She know what she doing. That's okay. I'm not taking that bait.
Wink.
Right.
Don't.
But this is my thing. With men, I think sometimes they I've had men put off the impression that they're interested in my business.
Okay, yeah.
But we both know that's not
Visual.
why you.
That's a visual comeback. See,
because I'm a visual person, and that's not why you follow me down this hall. To talk about my business. So I think that's a mixed signal. But you're gonna have to show me that, because if that's what you present yourself as, that you want to talk about we're gonna talk about my business before anything goes on. This is what we're gonna do, and then I can figure out if this is about business or if this is about something else. And then at that point, I have a choice to make. I'm not gonna let you know that I don't want to go any further because I thought this was all about business, or I can take it to another level.
so you just kind of saying sometimes they kind of
Sometimes,
It's about
act
business.
interested in their
Business
business.
and pleasure.
Right. Exactly. So
Okay,
we
grab
can
the
go either
mic.
way.
And then we can just go back around. So, Xavier, name a mixed signal. And I know, like we said, we all give mixed signals. But just as when we talk about relationships and you on the internet or blog sites, you hear all different type of things about relationships. So, just give us an example of what you feel that is a mixed signal that women give.
I think that maybe there's some women that give the impression that they're really interested in a man, and they may just be interested in what he has and how much money he makes. I think that's one of the top ones on the top of the list, is that they're not really so much interested in the man, they're just interested in his status and where he's at in life and how much money he makes. I think that's...
What if that's one of their must-haves?
Then it is. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Okay. Barbara? A mixed signal that you think men give in relationships.
I'm sort of with
Rakia?
Rakia. I think people in general, because they haven't solidified their own sense of self, might send mixed signals. I think as you're getting to know people, you're there to know them. You're not there to judge them. You're not there to, you may want to assess whether it's someone you want to move forward with in a deeper relationship.
Right.
But if you walk out thinking that everyone that you meet is going to be sending mixed signals, that's what you're going to hear. I mean, you want to know people for who they are, accept them for who they are, meet them at where they're at, and develop the relationship if that's the place that you want to take it.
Okay. I know, I thought I would ask this because sometimes when you're watching TV and reality and the court shows, you hear people say, well, I thought, or he sent me, or a mixed signal. So that's where people say that. They feel that mixed signals, and we all give them, but for some reason, on certain type of shows, they seem to get mixed signals.
Well, they attract the
signals all the
victims,
time.
don't you think?
Yeah, right. The victim mode. Okay.
If you start portraying yourself as a victim, there's two things going to happen. You're a victim, and you're going to victimize other people.
Okay.
So those are excuses to not own or be responsible for your own
Own up.
choices.
Okay. All right. Pass it to Stephen. A mixed signal, if you feel that women, if you had to choose, what would be a mixed signal that you feel that women give?
I think that the mixed signals that we do is it's human that we all want to be accepted. So we do things in order to not be rejected, so that we can at least stay in the neutral place. So I think if we're feeling the other person out a little bit in the conversation, because I think the communication is everything. As a communication relationship coach, I've had some mixed signals, come to me, and that people say, I want to talk to you about your coaching, and I really want to see what it's about. And then when I get a chance to sit down,
Coach me right there.
It's like, what's your name? So it changes it up a little bit, but I think it's human nature that we want to be accepted. But I think the way that we're accepted is to be our authentic self. And because eventually that authentic self is going to come out.
Right.
So I'm just be it now.
So you kind of,
Presentation.
with Rakia, sometime like business, as she says, so your business, so sometime women, and as you stated, men will act like they're interested in your business.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you want to get a chance, if you want to just talk with me, then just say you want to talk. But if you say that you're interested in how and what I do for a living, and then it switches up within a few minutes, I'm going to bring it back to why we met.
Exactly,
and
about
keep it
the
real.
business. Right. I have to back off what you said. I'm reading the book, The Compound Effect, and one thing in it stated, put people in their place. You have a person that you can only spend 3 minutes with. That's it. That's all. You should spend 3 minutes with them, or 3 hours, or 3 days, and don't mix them up. Because once you mix them up, that's when the signals
That's
get
the
crossed.
mixed signals.
And exactly. And once we start putting our acquaintance, our friends, people we meet in the category that they belong in, I think it gets better. And the mixed signals don't get so mixed because you're putting them where they belong. You know that this person is a person that you just talked to for a few minutes and you keep it moving. But then you have some people that you can spend a weekend with. You can go away with for the weekend or what have you, and have a really good relationship.
Have you met anybody that you just really genuinely like? I mean, you judged that up for me. That you like, and you feel that they're a great person, but they don't necessarily have the must-haves, but they're a great person. Will you still go on those weekend trips with them?
At this point in my life?
Sure.
No.
Okay. At one point in your life, you would have.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes. Don't put me on the spot. Okay. Well, yeah, because you want to get to know somebody, or sometimes you send this mixed signal. You know what? I really want to go on that cruise.
That wasn't a mixed signal with brochures on the table.
Sometimes it's a mixed signal because they really don't have your must-haves, but you must have this trip. So you go anyway. So sometimes when we're younger, we're impulsive.
So must-haves change normally. With our age. So
yes.
because
I don't think it's just age.
Maturity.
With our,
because I would imagine that maybe, and not necessarily, that some of your must-haves may have been different at 20 at
Oh,
30.
Oh, yeah.
Where I know my must-haves would have changed because at a younger age, early 20s, visual, attractive, or you got to look this way, you got to be a certain height, you have to be that. That's not in my must-haves at all, but it was in my must-haves at one point. So
Exactly.
you kind of agree that must-haves will change because at a point in time in your life, certain things may not be as important, and even you mentioned, Xavier, about financial, and not necessarily saying it in a negative way that women are looking, but at some point in your life, you are looking for somebody that's financially stable. I don't hear too many people that say, well, I'm looking for somebody that's broke, or I'm looking for somebody that I want to help them build their credit. I want looking for somebody with a 580 credit score. You don't hear people say that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
you looking for someone who can complete or
Exactly.
bring something to the
Compliment.
table. And something else I want to bring up, I heard this man say that, oh, I'm not going to date that woman because all she is looking for something. But aren't we all looking for something? Whether, I don't think we just date anybody to say, I'm not looking for anything. So, but what I took from it when he said that was it was financial. This woman is just looking for something. That was just automatic. His looking for something meant financial. So we date somebody because we are looking for something, whether it's financial or whatever. So, Tanya, you want to expand on just about that topic about we date because we're looking for something. Did you date and were you looking for something?
For me, the dating process is nothing more than an interview session. It's an extended interview. And you have to have a standard. If you don't have a standard, then you will pretty much fall for anything. You'll be unhappy, you'll be complaining, you'll end up just in bad relationship, one right after the next. So I think you do have to set a standard for yourself. And that person that you're looking for may not reach every standard that you have, but if they have 3 out of 5 things on your list, I would say you're doing good because there's nothing on earth that's perfect.
There you go.
So, and not saying that you have to settle, but you have to give, you have to compromise. And so you have to give in. And I feel like sometimes things are right there in front of your face, and because you have this list of, I got to check this off, I got to check that up, you're missing your blessing. It's passing you by because you're
checking.
Yes, you're
So
checking
detailed.
things right.
Tunnel
You're so
vision.
detailed. You're trying to take care of everything on that list, and your blessing just walked past you. It's gone. So, yeah. So people have to pray for discernment because it can be right there in front of them, and then it's gone. We knew each other for about 8 or 9 years. We were just friends. Just friends before we ever went on a date. And my brother-in-law always said, he's probably right there in front of your face. And I was like, no, I don't want nobody at the church. No. No. But yeah, it's usually right there in front of you.
Okay, awesome. So, what we're going to move ahead to, once you find that person that you're compatible with and they have 3 out of 5 must-haves, and when do you start introducing them to your family? When do you bring them to the family? And I think guys, or maybe, I don't know, do men say, when you think you found that someone, do you say, oh, I got to let them meet mama. I got to take them home to meet my mother. Is that the first thing guys kind of think about, because I found this special someone that I want to be with? Do you think about taking them home to your mother? Who the first people in your life that you want to share that special someone with, Xavier? So when you met that special someone,
I wonder who that is.
when did you and who did you know?
Well, I think I would say that for each person, I think it's different. And then I'm speaking as a man, speaking for myself, I would just say when the time comes in that initial part of the relationship where I just feel comfortable enough and I feel there's a certain feeling of closeness that I feel that I would want you to meet my family and my mother. You know, I was particularly myself. I was raised as a single parent by my mother, and so there's a unique closeness and bond there. And so, I don't know what it is. Something in that it makes me, I feel, have this special fondness for women. Period. You know, always thinking about my mother and respect, and you know, things that my mother tried to impart on me about women, and observing my mother. So I just think it's just something about me and the feeling that I have with this other person, that I would feel comfortable taking them and meeting my mother. If it was something about how things were going between us where I didn't have that feeling, then I probably wouldn't do it. So.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it depends on the person.
But yeah, you definitely when you do you feel the urge? I guess maybe is what I'm trying to say. When you feel that you've met that special someone, or do you have that urge to say, I want to show them to the family? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're really excited about it, and you guys have been you having good times together and everything like that, then of course, yeah, at a certain time, yeah, you want to, mom, you want to do something to your mother. Yeah, right, exactly. All right, that's how I felt about you.
I know. That's what I was waiting to hear. What about women? Do we meet that special someone and have the urge to say, I want to take them home to dad? I'm just trying to, the reverse of that. And I guess to even go further, but I'm going to let you ladies answer that. Do you feel that women look for, maybe consciously or unconsciously, look for a man that's similar to their father? Start with you, Tamara.
No.
Okay.
I don't. And I've had that thought process and that feeling before, but it's like my daughter, she's like my person, and she's like, no, Mom, 6 months. Just wait. And she's so serious.
Steve Harvey book already?
I actually didn't even see the movie yet. And I'm waiting to go see that. But no, and actually not, because they could be a first impulse that, yes, this is the one, I really like this person, but they may not last. So I don't want to take them around and then have that to explain later, and then say, okay, now they're here today, gone tomorrow, for whatever reason. They need to last a little longer before I just start taking them around my family. Plus, my family is crazy.
Oh, okay. So she just put the family on blast.
Crazy in a good way.
Okay.
In a good way. But no, I don't want to do that. And my father was gone out of my life at a young age when I was a teenager. So I didn't have that to look up to say, hey, I want to take you to see my father. But in high school, my father would be right there, sit on the couch and watch them, just to make sure, you don't touch my daughter, and y'all could just sit there and talk. But and that was good, because even now, still, I don't think it's a rush thing to take them home.
Okay.
That soon.
I think it's with some people that I've worked with, and including myself, and how I feel is that I hear a lot of people say after a little while in a relationship, where's this going?
Okay.
Be in the present. If you're in the present with it, it's going right where you want it to be. But I was raised by a single mom who raised 4 kids by herself. So my heart is, my mom is amazing. But for me, at this time in my life, as a full-time single dad for the past 15 years, with my daughter 23, my son 17, is I want to, gradually, if it feels right, I don't have a timeline. If it feels right, you're going to expose and put them in a place where they can meet. And even then, I don't want anybody to be on the spot. An example of that is I might meet at a park, or you go do something that's a social place where my kids can feel comfortable and they can just get a chance to feel each other out.
Natural feeling, like.
Yeah, as opposed to everybody like, okay, now we're on step 3.
Okay.
Because that right there, that to me is an agenda again.
Okay.
And so I would say that when it comes to a point of just being natural and allowing things to evolve, you'll know when. You don't have to have a timeline on it. Because if you listen to your heart and you're present, and that other person is as well, then you'll be good.
Okay. All right. What we're going to talk about now, since we went over our must-haves and when we'll share that with our partners or significant others. What I want to find out is if you want to break up with someone or you want to no longer see them, will you be very upfront and let them know, or will you just, look at the phone and, oh, nope, not going to answer or not text back? Are you upfront with it? We got must-haves. We know what we want. We all know what we want, right? Yeah. So I want to know if you want to end the relationship, will you be very upfront? Or if you're not upfront, just tell me what you would do. Barbara.
I think communication is always the key component of a relationship, whether it's going from friends to significant others or backing down from significant others to just friends, or if it requires a separation of time to allow for each person to overcome their feelings about the whole situation. I think that communication is the key, and you need to be upfront. If you know that if you know your paths are going to be separating, and you know that you're really not going to come together and join up as a couple, I think it's got to be communicated
so you're upfront
appropriately.
You definitely. Okay.
Yes. I'm upfront every other time.
Okay,
I might as well be upfront with that.
There you go. Okay, we just want to check. Let's go ahead and pass the mic to Mr. Stephen there.
I think it's, again, to echo what Barb said, I think it's about communication, and because a lot of people go through relationships and they have no closure with it, and they don't know what's going on. So I think just for your own integrity, you need to communicate where you are, how you're feeling, but do it with love. Everything that goes on in my world is just put love in it. But that way you have compassion, because there's been times that, some of the best friends I have are people that I may have dated 20 years ago. But if you handle yourself well, then everything's going to work out right. And, that we've heard the phrase, do unto others as you'd want to have them do unto you. And that's healthy. So how would I want somebody to communicate that with me? Again, with love. But be real and talk about what's going on.
So do you always stay great friends with you after you break up in your relationship? So most of your breakups since you started this, you kind of let it out. So so you said most. So a lot of past relationships, you're still very good friends with them to this day?
I think that it takes both. There's some people that they may not want anything else to do with you in that place, and that's okay. But I think it's a lot of times it doesn't have to be a one way or the other. And I think again is if I want to show up in a healthy way for myself, then I want to let that person know, here's where I'm at. This part of me is changed a bit, and maybe feel where they are, because they may say something in the conversation and that might change my mind.
Well, what would that be? No, you don't have to.
They might say, I love looking in your eyes. No, they might say, again, that there may have been some miscommunication. There may be a reason that two people are going in separate directions only because they've been miscommunicating. And again, I think love's about clarity. But the unconditional love is loving that person for who they are as opposed to trying to get them to fit into who I want them to be.
Okay. You can pass it on down. Xavier, because we're going to go around. I'm asking everyone this question. I need to know from everybody. We're not skipping over anybody. So would you be very upfront and ending your relationships?
I definitely speak from where I'm at right now in my life. I mean, definitely, because I feel that, I'm 51 years old, so I've learned a lot of things in life, so I definitely of the opinion that would be the best way to go about it. Now, to be real and honest, would there be any kind of circumstance where maybe that might not be the best way to go about it? I don't know. Because I don't. One of my sayings is don't put the cart before the horse, so to speak. So that might have been a relationship that ended, and it was ended very badly. Very bad terms. Where speaking to that person, speaking to that person, right. Doing at that particular time may not be the best thing. Maybe some time needs to elapse before you can kind of talk again, and maybe one or the other or both just come to a mutual understanding that this doesn't work out. So I go along with those lines, but and I also say when I was younger, I'm just speaking for myself, maybe there was some times where, maybe it was just a casual relationship. Maybe I didn't feel the need for it. Maybe because my thoughts were more immature then, that I did not do that. So I just want to be really honest about it. So one side of me is, presently. The other side is, from the past when I was a lot younger. Maybe I didn't always, think as, my thoughts were not as mature as they are now.
Okay. You just stop calling.
No, I can say for me personally, I'm just saying I don't recall this kind of reviewing the tape that ever happened for me. I don't ever recall just stop calling somebody. Maybe that happened to me. Maybe they stopped calling me, but I don't know.
All right, so Rakia, we will just go on around. Would you be very upfront or
Yes.
in the breakup? Okay.
Yes. Yes. I don't have time.
Would you? Stephen mentioned that he would put a little bit of love on it, and I say that we wouldn't all, but would you just be very in your face with it? Just.
I am never in your face with anything.
So
why would I do?
right.
I wouldn't be mean.
Okay.
If that's what you're referring to. I wouldn't be mean. I wouldn't be disrespectful. But if this isn't working, we need to both know it's not working and move on. Or if we're going to try to fix it, try to work on it, then that's fine. But we need to be honest with one another. I really don't like that. Because I'm at a point in my life, being that, other half of that 40, that a lot of games I won't play. And I'll be honest with you, and I want you to be honest with me. And if we're not, going to that next level or even moving forward at all, we need to be honest with each other about that, as opposed to wasting each other's time. Because you can wind up in a relationship 2 years that you knew wasn't good after 6 months.
Okay. So everybody so far would be pretty honest. Okay. Good. Lady T.
I agree with Rakia. I would be upfront, because if someone's trying to break up with me, I would want them to give me that respect too. Because then at that point, now you're playing with each other. Now they're being selfish because they just want to keep you around for whatever reason, opposed to telling you, this is not working, this is not going to work, let's let it go. And try to remain cordial. I don't know about friends, depending on how close you were with them in the beginning, but try to still remain cordial with each other. But other than that, yeah, I'll tell you, just like I would want that respect, because I want someone to tell me that this is definitely not going to work. And if we're not working on it to get through whatever it is, then we both need to know.
Okay, awesome. So would you, just hold on one second. Would you ever, because we talked about, or maybe you've done it in the past, but would you ignore a phone call? Sometimes would you just avoid, like, I just don't want to. You know how people,
I've done that.
Not only women, I mean, don't they get the hint? Don't they get the hint? No, the hint is maybe you should tell them, but.
I've done that in my younger years, because
How did it
I
pan
am
out?
so
Did they
way
get the
old.
hint or what happened?
No, they just come by. And then they just come by, and then it's like, yes. Then they turn into stalkers, and then they're like, oh no, it can't be over. Yeah, but see, and that's the same thing. It's like, you might as well. Same thing goes back. Have that respect to talk and communicate and say, it's over, it's over.
Okay.
But like I said, there's a lot of men out there, selfish reasons. They just want to kind of leave you dangling and just have you there, so they won't tell you. They're kind of just to keep you coming back, or so they can talk to you when they feel like it, knowing that it's not going anywhere. And that's really pointless, because that's a waste of my time. Exactly. It's a waste of time. It definitely is. But I'm sure phone calls got ignored on both sides. But that's just still not the adult and mature way of handling things, I think.
Okay.
Why ignore it? Just tell it. Say what it is. So.
To piggyback off of what she said, I think in order to get that same respect, I would want, to be upfront with someone, because I want that same thing in return. So, I mean, you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. So, try to do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
So how many
So-
rings did it have to take to unanswered unanswered calls, excuse me, did it take? Do you remember?
Well, you know, when the cell phone didn't get answered and the house phone didn't get answered and then the cell phone didn't get answered again, and it just took a good long one night.
Okay. Okay. All right. Pass it on. Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you the political answer. I'm gonna give you the real life answer.
That's what I'm looking for. That's all I
1-800
want.
toll-free information. No, in my past, honestly, I would want the girl to break up with me because, I was just like that. I don't know why. It's just like it's easier to do it that way. That means she's done. I'm good. We move on and keep it moving. I'm good with that. And that way, when she's done, men are not emotional, so we're not dealing with the emotional
Really?
aspect of it. I mean, I'm getting into another topic.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
We deal with emotions differently. I should have I know TDJ's got he emotions out there.
Okay.
But I mean, we're not emotional in the aspect. We don't wear our feelings on our shoulders where it affects us as much as it would a woman. So when a woman is done, she's done,
Yeah.
and then we allow that to be the case, and then we can separate. Even though that's my initial objective is for the separation and for that person to move on. Sometimes that takes longer because you do dangle and you dev, and it's not upfront and abrupt where they can go on with their lives and you can go on with your lives, and then that's when you go with the back and forth, and it is a game, and you play it for as long as it takes for them to get tired of it. So that is my
The real raw, uncut version.
That's the
I
uncut.
want to go
version.
back just to something that you said. You indicated that you would want her to break up with you. So therefore, you're probably already wanted to be over, but you want her to do it. Why is that? Real women reveal would like to know.
Man.
You speaking for the fellas? He speak for y'all? No.
Yeah.
They're like,
Nah. I mean, it's many different reasons.
Yeah, your person. I know that was your personal.
Yeah, that's just my personal way of doing and handling things. I would say it was a coward's way out. I'm not going to deny that aspect, but I dealt in that and I dwelled in that because of how I was and who I was at that time, and so it was just easier for me, and it been difficult for the woman because, like I said, the emotional
Did
aspect.
you make it difficult to make it so she could break up with you then? So since she had to do it, you gonna break up with me by come 12 o'clock?
Yeah, you hoping they get the point. I mean, you hoping they get the point at some time. I mean, a lot of the fellows indicate, and women too, is that you reveal your true self at some point. If you read the signs that indicate it to you instead of avoid them, that's when we get the wrecks and stuff. You avoid the sign when it says stop, please stop. When a red light, slow down when it's caution yellow. You can keep going if it's green, it's all good. But a lot of times we avoid the signs.
Okay.
And they're right there before your face, but you for whatever reasons, you just disregard them, and then things happen. That's when you get the crashes and the accidents and the mishaps, the speeding tickets and everything else that comes on with life. But that was just my way of handling it. I mean, that's me personally. I ain't gonna put that on you, Steve. And I ain't putting that on you. I'm not gonna put you on blast like that.
I appreciate it.
It was just my way.
Right.
I got you. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think that I agree with basically all you guys. I think at one point in our life, we may have all maybe just avoided that phone call or didn't return the phone call back at some point in our life. But I think as we're all mature enough at that point, that doesn't work. That could cause actually more issues in itself than maybe not being upfront as early as you need to. Don't just continue it on, months and months. I've been wanting to break up with her. I've been wanting to break up with him for 6 months now. But what have you been doing in that 6 months that maybe she did not, get the clue or whatever? So just being very upfront and just take it, whatever it is at the beginning and just ride that out. I think being upfront. You grabbed the mic. Did you need to say something?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's where the mixed signals come in, when you have those signs and you don't totally pay attention to them because they're giving you mixed signals.
That's mixed signals. That's I see how it's coming back around about the mix. Okay.
That's what happens. They avoid you maybe. They don't do the same things they used to do, and then they come back, and then they
Signals,
want to
that's
spend
why.
time with you. They want to do this different things with you, and then all of a sudden, then it stops. So those are those mixed signals too, opposed to just saying, I don't want to be with you, I want to be with you sometime. Let's play. Let me know what the game is. I'll let you know if I want to play, and then we can move on from there. Other than that, let's just be upfront and honest.
And men and women do that.
Men
That's
and
what-
women
and I
both
said
do
both.
it. So
I said
I tell
absolutely.
you what the game is up front, and then if you don't want to play, okay, bye, next.
Okay,
Other than that, move on.
I think that sometimes it happens as far as in young relationships, like many of us mentioned about when we were younger, some of the things that maybe we wouldn't do now that we did in the past. I can relate to that to say that I think on the opposite side with a woman, let's say if I didn't return a phone call of a woman that maybe I didn't want to be bothered with anymore, then I've seen where that could lead to, getting your car keyed and your
Wait a
tires
minute,
flattened and all that.
Okay.
And so those
Yeah,
things,
and that's what I was saying. It leads to bigger
it
issues.
leads to bigger issues. So maybe realizing that or understanding that to whatever extent, then
Take it on the chin and move on, yeah.
Yeah, take it on the chin and keep moving on, or do that with the possibility. If you don't really have an understanding for yourself of that person that you was in that relationship with, that do they have the potential to do some of those things like that? So.
So you ever had to get a restraining order on somebody? Or you
No.
Talking about keys,
No.
car,
No.
key.
No,
We say that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we all
no.
have that friend.
but right, I've seen it happen. Right, I've seen that happen. So I would definitely try to err on the side of caution as far as that's concerned.
Okay, all right. Pass it on to her. Okay. Get yours. Stephen, and then you can go. Let Stephen go.
And then again, I think in being, raw about it as we were talking,
Yeah.
is that I think it's again when we're younger, we don't know what we don't know yet. So we're
Exactly.
going to make mistakes, but the thing is to evolve and learn from those mistakes. But I wanted to share a phrase that my mother shared with me that still carries with me. She said, "You didn't enter the relationship being ugly, so don't exit ugly."
Exactly.
So, because nobody wants to be rejected or judged, and whatever you do to other people, you're really doing it to yourself. And I think that's where we got to be real. So that if I'm doing something that looks like I'm doing it to somebody else, I'm the one living with it. So I'm doing more to me than anybody else. But those words hold true from my mother. She said,
I like that phrase.
"Yeah, you didn't come in ugly, so don't leave ugly."
Be trying to go. Give me a blindfold.
Exactly. And I like that because my motto is always a lady. I don't care
Yeah.
what happened, what goes, always be a lady. But I was going to piggyback on
Michael.
what you said.
He
No, you're not in hot water. I agree with you. It's okay. But that goes back to when do you bring that person home? I don't think that everybody you date should come to your house. I believe my home is my sanctuary.
Yes.
When I go home and close my door, I want to feel comfortable that you're not just going to pop by. You or anyone else for that matter. I'm around people every day, all day. So when I go home, I'm okay with no one being there. I am. And so it goes back to the question, when do you bring that person home? When I'm there, I don't bring people to my home. I think we can meet somewhere else until it gets to the point that this relationship is moving forward, but it has to be way forward.
Solidified.
Yeah, because once I bring you to my house, I can't just move when this relationship is over.
So you got stalkers.
So
no,
I can change jobs, but I can't, move my home. So I just think that
a lot of times women, we're too trusting, you know, when we're dating. You know, pick me up at my house, drop me off at my house, and then when we break up or the relationship doesn't go well,
Right.
we have someone just dropping by, which can cause issues in another relationship that you may start. You know,
okay.
so if you're out dating, to constantly have people, you know, or
Be conscious.
to constantly come to your
Conscious dating,
home.
huh?
Yeah, it's conscious dating. I just don't think that women, especially when you're single or if you live alone, you should have your dates, you know, come to your
That's a
home.
good point. That's a good
Because you
point.
didn't answer the phone when we called.
Yeah, and that's the reason. So see, now I can ignore you on the
Right.
phone, but I know for a fact you're not gonna show up at my door.
Yeah, Applebee's all day. I know
All
she's
day
coming
long.
back to Applebee's. I know it.
Exactly.
I'm glad you
Exactly.
don't show up.
Exactly.
Great. So now, what we're going to talk about is some misconceptions or what you would like basically revealed, if we can kind of use that term. What is it from everybody that you would like to say that's a big misconception in dating, where you may say, oh, I just don't like when women think all men are like that, or I just wish that, you know, what is something that you want to put out there to say, hey, all men are, you know, that's just a big misconception.
Okay.
You know, I'll go on that. Is that you know what Michael said earlier, and he's speaking for himself as well, and I will for me.
They keep saying you
It's,
speaking for yourself.
It's got to speak for me.
Yeah.
Is I think that men are more emotional than what they're given credit for at times. And yeah, but if you think about it, as we're little boys growing up, especially in the generations of our parents and how we were raised, as big boys don't cry, big boys get up and brush yourself off, and so we learn to stuff those emotions when we're younger. But I think for a man to really admit that he is emotional and be willing to show his heart, I think that's one of the biggest traits that, or characteristics, if you will, that really reveal what love is and who you are. So, but I think that, again, getting real with it is that, you know, I'm fine showing my emotions because I understand I'm good with my masculinity. So
Okay.
I'm not worried about what anybody else thinks. But I do want to be real with it because I don't want to stuff it. That's how men's lives are shorter than women, because they hold all that stuff in. So just be real, show your heart, and understand that nobody can define you without your permission.
Okay.
You're not going to be crying on the first day.
Well, the second
wow.
date, you know,
All right.
Just 1 second.
Misconception that you would like for men to know about women that, you know.
I think nowadays one of the bigger misconceptions is that the man always has to be the major breadwinner. I think that's a misconception, that he's not really the man if he's not making the money. That's not valuing them as a person. There's going to be ups and downs, and if you're in a couple, you're in it together, and you're going to weather it together.
Yeah, we talked about and with we had a segment with the like breadwinner wives, because even like you said, nowadays and the way the economy and things have turned, women are, you know, sometimes the major breadwinner, and that's not a bad thing, because if you're a couple, you're in it together, like you said, and more women are going back to school and things of that nature. So yeah, it's not a bad thing, but that's a good one. That is a big misconception.
That's a tough one for me. I don't know. I say
Misconception?
Misconception. I would have to say probably be about, I don't know, about money. I don't know. It's like to say it's a tough question for me.
Wants to come back to you on that one?
Yeah, come back to me,
Okay,
please.
all right, we're gonna come back.
all right.
For on the women's side, misconception.
Like Xavier, that's kind of tough. But it was a comment that was, or a discussion that was at the barbershop, that women that call other men sweetie, honey, I'm one of those women.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, I forgot your name.
A term of
I'm honest.
endearment.
It's just a term.
But
Hey, baby.
Right.
You know, really. I forgot your name. And I just don't want you to feel bad that I forgot your name.
Right, so you're-
hey, sweetie, how you doing? Everything's
Okay.
going okay? I know you got a wife. How's your wife doing? I don't remember your name. 9 times out of 10, that's why I'm doing this. But it was stated in the barbershop that when that happens, that woman opens herself up, that she's flirting with everyone. Well, if I call the whole barbershop sweetie, I'm not flirting with everybody. You know, that's a misconception. Or that when I'm talking to my mate, if I'm calling every other man sweetie and then I call him sweetie, there's no difference. And I feel that that's wrong. That's a misconception. Because with my mate, if I'm calling you sweetie, it sounds different and it should feel different.
Sweetie.
That's I don't know if I do the show, but that's how I feel. You know, when you care for someone and
Yeah.
you call them a pet name, like you may call someone, I think that it sounds different and it should feel different between the two of you. And their thing, no, it's no different. So my woman cannot call another man honey, sweetie, you know, that kind of thing, because then when she calls me, that doesn't mean anything. And I just think that that's, you know, I think it's a misconception,
Okay.
big time, because that's not necessarily true, especially for someone that, you know, forgets someone's name.
Right. Okay.
I think I'm going to plead the fifth on this.
The fifth.
Well, you're going to have to come back to me too, because I really don't date too much right now. So I don't have any direct
Is that a misconception that women don't really date? That's attractive women don't date? That's a misconception in itself. Huh? Huh?
Okay.
See?
Thank you, Miss Audrey. See, she got it. That could be it. That could be it.
Sometimes I think, and to say that, if you meet a guy or something and you say, oh no, I'm not dating. Oh yes, you are. I know you know. Or is that just a line? Or is that just a line when guys say that? Or do you really feel that you're so attractive,
Yes.
or I think you're nice looking that you should be dating?
I get that a lot. Like, why are you single? Because I live in Arizona and I haven't met anyone in Arizona. And when I have, it's been.
That's a misconception.
It
You
could
do
be.
have some misconceptions.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Bring it out. I guess so.
Check it off.
Okay, that's a couple of misconceptions, I guess. So, if there's any real eligible bachelors out there, maybe.
Put it out there.
But yeah, I don't. I haven't. And I guess there could be. Maybe I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not looking for it because I'm not, and I want it. And maybe I'm not in the right places. Maybe I don't go. But I'm a professional networker. I'm everywhere doing all kind of different things and different events I put on, and I invite all kind of people. So, but I don't go there to. I'm a big flirt, but that's probably as far as I take it right now. But other than that. I guess that is that I could.
These questions are you see how they just go right back around?
That's a mixed signal, but it's nice. But
I can't
because I'm always well, they take it as flirting because when you're talking to people and you're in that environment, I'm very hospitable, so
And you
I'm
sweetie
talking
baby.
to people.
Hey, sweetie
I don't do
baby.
that part though. See, that's what I'm talking. I don't do the sweetie thing, but I still talk to people. I make them feel good when they're there. You know, just talking to them, and sometimes that can come off as flirting.
Okay.
But so I guess all those things could be a misconception.
Absolutely.
But, so very good. I do have some. Huh?
She's been revealed. She knows now that she.
Let's see. I think for me personally, when I was single for so long that people started to think, well, what's wrong with her? You know, what is the problem? You know, and I think single doesn't necessarily mean desperate. Single
is not a
doesn't mean
bad
that I will
word.
fall for anything. I think when you know yourself and you love yourself enough, you can be alone with yourself and wait until that right moment when that person arrives in your life. And that's the point where I was in my life. I was comfortable with me and my daughter. I went to NAU, graduated. I dated a little bit, not very much. But when I was single for X amount of years, my whole family was like, well, I got this great guy I want you to meet.
Everybody-
I'm like, I'm good.
So that's a misconception that you always want to be hooked up, right?
Right. Well, I never asked for it.
Right.
I never asked for it. You know, my life was designed around my daughter. And I loved it that way. And I loved me. And I think at an early age, I knew what I wanted. And so, yeah, single doesn't mean desperate.
And that resonates when I think probably know that resonates that you're comfortable with yourself. I think that's attractive, or man or woman, when you know
Right.
that they are attractive.
I don't always have to have somebody.
Right.
Bounce from this person to that person. Love yourself enough to be alone for a minute.
Right.
Get to know you.
No stalkers with you, though. Michael? Misconception maybe that women you think get from men, or something that's...
That all men want is sex.
There we go. Okay. That's not a misconception. They said that's not a misconception. They said that is real. That is real and real. Something about you get... No, I'm just kidding. That's his misconception.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Can we talk? Can we talk? My turn on the mic.
Right, right.
No, true, because I think, you know, look, what's that movie you just saw? Yeah, Think Like a Man. And I mean, it's true. I respect a woman more if she given that indication that she wants to wait and not go jump in the sack soon, you know, and take a long period of time if that is the case. But a lot of women think it's all men want, and it's not always the case. If you find a good man that truly is whole with himself and God-fearing, he shouldn't want to put you in that place and put himself in that place, because he has the answer at the end of the day. So my misconception that all women think that all men want is sex.
That's good. Yeah.
So
That's misconception. I'm glad putting it out there. We got to go back to Xavier. I didn't forget. The misconception that I did not forget.
Michael, you stole my.
Well, that's hey.
No, I actually have two, and I'm thankful to everyone for their input. Is number one is about the men in Arizona. I think that, and I'm not a woman, so I don't know from a woman's perspective, but I think out the time that I spent here, I've heard that those comments so much that it just seemed like that's like that's a mindset that's just developed with a lot of women, that they just make themselves, and they tell other women that, and other women talk to other women.
Why do you think they say that so much? I mean, not that you necessarily would know, but
Right.
why do you? Your opinion?
I think that's because that's what they believe, and there may be some truth that it may be a little bit more difficult than it is in other states and other cities, but I think the possibility exists. I think it comes down to what kind of person that individual is, and what types of atmospheres are they, or you know, what activities and what kind of things are they doing in their life that they come in contact with people of the opposite sex, to the possibilities of relationships. So I think that has something to do with, rather than in Arizona, there's no good men here. You know, you just hear that so much, and like I said, you know, I'm not a woman, so I just believe
no,
that.
you're not, baby.
You know, now, and then the other one was just simply, I think there's a misconception with women. If a man just speaks to you, that just kind of piggyback off of Michael a little bit, that if you speak to a man or initiate a conversation with a man, that you're being overly aggressive. You know, and I don't think that's true. I think a lot of men, we like that a woman is more assertive enough to be to speak up and maybe initiate a conversation. And maybe if it does turn out that you kind of like that individual or something like that, it's okay. Not so much that you have to just make that known, but the fact that if you sparked a conversation up initially, maybe that's your ultimate motives is to get to know this person. But maybe in the beginning, initial conversation, you're not going to probably make that known initially, you know. But you know, to be assertive is okay, and men, we are okay with that. You know, matter of fact, it's appealing to us, and we like that. You know, so I'm speaking for myself.
Okay, good. I think I'll just jump in to say to kind of go, what I feel my misconception is that men sometimes say women, just want something out of a relationship, sometimes that financial thing. I think a lot of women don't necessarily pay attention to financial status. And that's not to say that we don't want some type of stability or, a man that works, but I don't think all women are just looking on, I need a man to make 7 figures or whatever your amount is. That's a misconception. A lot of women just want companionship, a good man, someone that's loyal and trustworthy. It's not all about the money. It's not all about the money. So what we're going to kind of end on is I want to go around and just ask everyone to, if you had one word that you want someone to think of you as or to remember you by, what would that word be? So if we had to remember you by what, Stephen? What would that word be?
One word.
Yeah, one word.
Compassionate, loving.
Okay. That's 2 words. 2.
I said,
They said.
I had one word from the left side of my head and the right side. I would say just that everything, I think that the reason that I'm here in this world is because of love.
Okay.
And so it's all about the love.
All about love. Okay. The love doctor. Okay.
I would
Barbara?
say trustworthy.
Trustworthy? Okay.
Let's see. Patience.
Patience. Okay. Oh, that's right. Right. I'll say mine last.
Oh, really? I would say loving.
Okay.
See, that was my word. Do I have to pick another one?
No. You. What would we?
I'm very loving.
Okay.
And
It's a lot of love
keep
in
that
the
one
room.
word.
But, yeah.
Virtuous.
All right.
Giving.
Giving. Okay. I feel warm. And mine would be one word that, and it's one, so he kind of threw me off, but we'll stick to one. I would probably say loyal. That would be it. So I'd like to thank all you guys for attending and the men to being honest and revealed and giving us some insight. I hope that this will help men and women understand each of us a little bit better and the opposite sex a little bit better and not put so many preconceived notions on each other about what we think a man should be or what we think a woman should be. It's all about getting to know that person and from that understanding, what do you perceive from it? So I hope that we all can learn something from each other and just become better people. And stay tuned for more Real Women Revealed.